Today on This Old House, we'll be trying out a Moroccan wall surfacing technique that replaces tile. What do you guys call it?
Tadelakt.
Tadelakt? I've never even heard of it.
Our kitchen garden is going in with bluestone beds.
And we'll be installing a recessed light and a slanted ceiling.
Hey there, I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to This Old House and to our Concord Cape right here, where a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks. You can see that the radiant flooring is down. These panels and that tubing goes through at about 1,500 square feet, all on the first floor, all in the new space. And then on top of that, we have got quarter sawn white oak going in, and it is a busy job site. There are people working everywhere. We've got the front door that we are trying to salvage, and you can see kitchen cabinets are in place, the base is in place, the tops are in place, the island is in place, and we've got folks working everywhere. This opens up onto the great room. We've got the finished carpenters putting in the beautiful walnut cabinetry. Look at that scribe right there to the exposed brick. This right here is all going in, and the windows as well. Corner window here, some custom ones up there. Hey, Mauro. Hey, Kevin. And then we've got a wall of glass over there. And those windows, well, that's a big story about what's been going on with this project. Those, believe it or not, were delayed 20 weeks. And that's because of all the supply chain issues and COVID. And when something like that is delayed, well, it starts a domino effect. If you don't have the windows in, you can't heat the house, which means you can't put the plaster up, you can't put the floors down, and everything starts to fall behind and changes. Except for one thing, the deadline that Charlie has to meet. That has not moved. And that explains why we've got Mark Ferrante coming in at 3 a.m. to lay tile. Why we've got painters on top of plasterers, electricians on top of plumbers. And believe it or not, despite what it looks like, with piles of hardwood floor still strapped up and in place, all of this is going to be done in about 2 weeks. Hard to believe, unless of course you've worked with the Silvas before. The very end of our addition is the master bath, a big room, and the basic layout is a double vanity in this corner with a tub against that wall, a toilet closet right here, and then a curbless shower in here. And the entire space is going to be waterproof. We've got a beautiful mosaic tile on the floor, but Pauline, you've got a different treatment for us for the walls and the ceiling as well. What do you guys call it?
Tadelakt.
Tadelakt? I've never even heard of it. What is it?
Yeah. So it is an ancient limestone that Moroccans used to completely waterproof surfaces.
Okay. So this has been around for a while.
Exactly, and it's just being brought back now in kind of a modern usage.
So what do you love about it? Like, why are we using it in here?
I think my favorite is that you can go all up on the ceiling, the walls, entirely encompass a room, so you don't have seam lines with tiles. Also, it's mildew and mold resistant.
Right.
So that's obviously a huge benefit in bathrooms.
So will you actually show us the steps?
Of course. So your tile guy set us up great with this. He did the cement backer board and the waterproof underlayment.
Gotcha.
So then we come in with the thin set. And all we're doing is we're applying it on, and then we're doing horizontal grooves.
Gotcha.
On the whole thing, right?
So at this point, this is sort of what we would normally do if we were putting traditional tile up over this.
Exactly.
And you were kind enough to actually give us walls in different states of completion. So that would get set up, and then from here you'd move to the first coat of your specialty?
Exactly. So this is the first of the 2 base coats. You apply it with a trowel. And we've already applied 1 coat here to show you, but I'm gonna just walk you through how you'd put it on. So you put it on, and then you're gonna smooth it out for each coat. You put it on, smooth it out. And it starts out rough, and then as you go along, each coat successively gets more and more compressed. And you use a specific angle with the trowel to really push it in.
Is compression part of the magic here? That you trying to press that in there and get it nice and solid?
Absolutely. Like, that's the most important part, because if it's not compressed, then it's not going to be water and solid gold. So after you finish that coat, it's really important when it's almost 100% dry over here, you're going to take a float, right, a sponge float, and then while it's pretty dry, you can go over it. And if it's scratching too much, it is not dry enough. So you go over that, and then you're ready for the second coat.
So out here in the room, different treatment, but is this one coat or two base coats?
This already has the 2 base coats on it.
Gotcha. So now we're ready for the
Tadelakt.
Tadelakt. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna scoop it out. You put it on with trowels, just like the other one, right? And you're gonna smooth it on. So put it on, smooth it off. And it doesn't go any which way. Right?
How long are you going to be in this room? For like a week?
It's very tedious, and there's more than just me. So this is the final step down here, the olive oil soap. So we've already done the 2 successive coats of the Tadelakt.
Yeah.
We have a tight, smooth, clean surface.
That is the smoothest surface yet. Okay.
And then after you mix the olive oil soap with the water, you're gonna put on a minimal amount onto the wall, right?
Oh boy, look at that.
Yeah. And you want to roll it really thinly, but make sure you have solid coverage. You don't want any drips, because all of those could have variation in the color that you don't want.
Look at the variations coming out though.
Exactly. We don't want these, say, drips coming down. So after you're done rolling it, you can go in with the float.
More compression.
Yeah, exactly. And make sure it's all smoothed out.
Right.
And then when it's entirely dry, then you can buff it.
It's a very sort of modeled look. You know, we've got the different layers, the different textures, as if the entire room is stone, something you'd expect from an old world bath or spa.
Exactly.
Oh, it's really cool. Looks like you and your crew have got some more burnishing to do,
We
so
have plenty more.
I'll leave you to it. Thank you,
All
Pauline.
right. Thanks so much.
We have been following the progress of the Dracut, Massachusetts Center School, which was built in the 1890s. Now, decades of elementary foot traffic took its toll and the building fell into disrepair. But the town wanted to save it, and fortunately, some local veterans are going to be the beneficiaries of that. That's because this is going to become 9 affordable housing units for some former service members, and it's all going to be done in about 4 months. The building is protected by the Historic Commission, and that means that its details, like the windowsills, have to be restored to their original look. So we are off to a local mill shop. Hey, Rob. Good to see you.
Hey, Kevin. Nice to see you.
So looks like you're going to be making some sills for us. You got the victim right here.
Yeah, this is the original sill.
Ooh, how bad was it?
Pretty bad. Typically, we get the best one. So this one is not bad, but covered with lead paint.
Yep, okay.
I assume there's a lot of rotten ones at the building.
Gotcha. So what's the process for replicating?
All right, the process is we cut off a piece. It goes into our drafting, it's scanned into the computer. They clean it up, convert it to a CAD file, and email it to the knife grinder that we use.
So custom knives for most of the jobs?
Yes. This is a sample of a 9-inch custom knife.
Oh, okay.
Careful.
Okay, thank you.
She's a little sharp.
Gotcha. So I'm looking at a profile there. There's a little detail on the end. Okay. What are we making them out of, the new
We're
ones?
going to be making them out of South American Spanish cedar.
Cool. All right. Okay, that's an impressive machine.
Thank you, the original.
Holy smokes. Looks like you guys are going to
close.
pass the historical district right there. That's perfect. And then times 20, right?
Times 20.
All right. Well, we look forward to having them up on the job site. Thank you, Rob.
Very good, thank you.
Hey, Leo.
How you doing, Kevin?
All right, so here's one, 19 more in the truck. Spanish cedar, ready for you to go.
Thank you.
So what's your process for getting these new sills to fit perfectly into those old openings?
So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna pull out the old one from the window. We're gonna lay it right on top of this one. We're gonna draw out the profile
So just a
to get an
template.
exact match. Exactly. We have a template in the window already. There's no reason to go out there and measure it.
Okay.
And it's already fit perfectly for that, so we can just put it right in.
Okay.
Okay, looks pretty good right there. I'll hand that to
Thank
you.
you. Just gonna hang this over here.
Got this side.
It's a pretty snug fit.
So a couple shims there, Leo?
Yep. To help hold it in place.
Yeah.
We're gonna screw in from the sides.
Okay. Couple screws not going anywhere. No. New sills, and we got the old windows getting restored. That's going to be a great look.
Yep, they're gonna be coming in as soon as we're done with the sills. They're gonna have the new windows coming in as well.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Terrific.
No problem.
So for the front of the house, our homeowners want to have a vegetable garden. So it's a great idea for a kitchen garden right out of the front of the house. These are going to be beds that are going to be flush with the ground. And Fred,
Hey Jen, how you doing?
how's this coming along? I mean, we're typically used to seeing cedar raised planters, so
Yeah, we're making these planters out of bluestone, and I think it's a great idea because they're not going to rot.
this is true.
Yep. The pathway surface is going to be this 3/8 stone that the homeowner picked out.
I think this is going to be a great border. It's going to keep the weeds down. It'll be nice to walk on too.
Yeah, sure will.
Okay, so I like that we're setting it in a mortar base.
Yeah, Tom's over here. He's going to set it in like a 1-inch mortar base to help hold the stone in place.
Right, because people are going to be walking on the edges. I like it.
Be good to go.
Awesome. All right, that looks great. Thanks, Tom.
So Jen, we got this steel edging, and we're going to install it right around here to keep the 3/8 stone from mixing into the loam compost mix against the house.
Yep,
And it's going to give it that nice clean look.
perfect. It's going to delineate the edge, and on the other side, there's going to be a small planting bed, so it'll be nice and clean. This area is really shaping up. I love that you have the irrigation already stemmed up in the middle of the bed. This is really coming together. Compost and soil, they're in good shape.
One more to go.
One more to go. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Jen.
Hey, Heath.
Hey Kevin.
Little lighting layout.
Yeah, it's time to put in some of these recessed lights.
Okay, what are you working with here?
So we're working with an area that we weren't sure what was going to happen in here.
The built-ins?
The built-ins, we weren't sure what was going in originally.
Yeah.
So having that, we just buried a wire for future use.
Oh, okay. So it's up there somewhere.
It's up there somewhere.
So how did you end up with, I'm seeing a line in the ceiling, I'm seeing a laser this way. What dictates your layout?
So the nice part about this is they hadn't painted this yet, so I could snap one of the light chalk lines on here and not worry about upsetting the painters and leaving a mess for them. And we got that by putting the laser down the front edge of the cabinets. Now that the cabinets are in, we have a straight line on the face of this. And we know we want the light typically on the front edge of this, but we want to keep it in a straight line the whole way as well.
Yep.
Where this one's shallow, this one's a little further in. This is a nice constant straight line.
And are you ready to cut?
We're ready. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to our new mark. I'm going to take a small screwdriver and just poke a hole through the plaster. So I know the hole we want to cut is about 3 1/4. So I'm actually going to go a little bigger. I'm going to bend this at about 2 inches to give me a little wiggle room. And then on the other side, I'm going to bend this small piece in the same direction, just so I know which way this is pointing. And then once I put that in the hole, when I spin it, I know I at least have 4 inches clear of any obstruction.
Never gets old to see. It's like an electrician's divining rod. So if you can rotate that without any obstructions, you know you've got a
So I know I can
4-inch.
spin that. I've got at least a 4-inch space. This is wide open all the way up other than the insulation.
That's awesome. So ready to cut?
All right, ready for the hole saw. Let that drop, and then we can go ahead and go right through.
Look at that, free and clear.
So now we'll reach up and grab that wire, which should be right in here.
Like a magician pulling a rabbit out of the ceiling.
I guess the pictures didn't lie.
You did not.
So we're going to go ahead and cut this. We ran a continuous loop the whole way through because we weren't sure where it was going to go. We didn't want to have a break somewhere that was buried that we had to get to.
Yep.
So we know this is good now. I'm going to strip a little off each side.
This is your circuit.
And then if you want to pass me the junction box.
So no wire nuts, just push connectors.
No, it comes with push connectors on it, so we can go ahead and just strip these and push them right in.
That kind of wiring right there, Heath.
Nice and easy. Now we'll just tuck them in.
Black to black, white to white.
That's it.
So our little tail there, just going to connect to what you've picked for going in.
That's it. It's actually a gimbal, so
Yeah.
it tips internally to let us wash whatever we want to.
And you've actually shown this to us before. That's a push connection, and then these little mousetrap
little
things
mouse
here, they'll actually hold it up in place.
They do. So I'm just going to press that in. Screw that together. That'll keep it from pulling apart. And now we'll just tuck it up in.
Oh, that is just clever. All right, Heath, fire it up. It's on. Look at that, huh?
All right.
That is terrific. So right now we are washing up here.
Yep, we're a little higher on the brick.
Yep, and we've got a little ambient down here, but not much.
And if they want to tip it down and get more down there, or maybe put something in the center,
Move that eyeball.
we can change that around.
Full directional right there.
Yeah,
That's very cool. Left and right, forward and back.
a little bit of everything.
I love it. Okay. And so one in, how many more to go?
3 over here and then a few in the kitchen.
Gonna make a huge difference, Heath. Thank you.
Thanks.
Love it. Up here on the second floor of our 1880s house is where, well, basically two houses come together. We have got the addition right there coming together in the old house, and Charlie, where old meets new always causes a whole host of problems, including what to do with the flooring.
Right. There's always a question, which way do people want the floors to run? Up here, we chose to run it the long way with the hallway.
Makes sense, right? I mean, that's a long hallway, and you'd hate to see it sort of chopped up with the boards going this way.
It does, but in the old part of the house, the old bedroom, we're forced to actually run it the opposite direction. The old bedroom here, our floorboards actually run perpendicular.
So you're thinking of a transition.
Yeah, we're gonna break it right here at the door where you typically would. So this will be our, call it flush threshold.
Which means you would continue these boards in this direction until we reach that threshold?
That's right. And we want this board going this direction to actually break under the door when it's closed. So when the door is closed, you see the flooring running one way, and the other part, it will actually run the opposite way.
Yeah.
Flush right in.
And so why do we have to change the direction of the boards in this bedroom?
The old floorboards are actually pretty uneven, so I really wanted to go across the floorboards so that it would really lay flat.
So new subflooring out here, old floorboards in there, kind of pins us into a corner.
That's right.
All right, so this is ready for installation.
It is.
So Josiah and his guys, I saw them put almost like a control row down right here, start in the middle of the room.
That's right, and that's really parallel with these walls. So when you're looking from the other side, that floor is nice and straight.
Put that in, block it temporarily so they can install this way.
That's right.
And then when they can pull those out and continue that way.
That's exactly right.
You got a lot of wood to put down in this house.
A few thousand feet.
Whew. All right. Thank you, Josiah. A few months ago, we visited a shop in Pennsylvania that is the largest manufacturer of wooden countertops in the country. And they made ours for us. Paul, it's good that you came to us this time. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you again, Kevin.
So we saw this giant slab of oak you made for us go down onto your CNC machine. You did quite a bit of work to it.
Yeah, if you remember, the homeowner here wants a floating countertop.
Right.
So because we're not using corbels or any other sort of support that's hidden, we're putting these pretty heavy brackets in. And as you remember on the CNC, we cut out pockets for these brackets in the top.
You guys did the perimeter around the entire board for us. You also gave us this detail here.
Yeah, this rabbet is designed to cover the stone, so there's no gap or butt joint that has to be caulked. If you actually look at the stone, they rabbeted for these brackets as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see they have an unpolished edge here because they don't have to, because we're covering that.
All
floor.
designed by you. I mean, we spent a considerable amount of time at the computer. CNC was driven by the computer CAD design. You gave the information to the stone fabricators as well. Have everything buttoned up.
And actually this morning when I got here, the stone fabricator said to me, he goes, "Well, I made it to your drawing. I hope it fits," because I didn't template anything.
I hope it fits too.
So do I. Randy and Adam are gonna put in the last bracket to support the counter. right, now the stone fabricator is going to place the stone in place.
How's that for you?
It looks great. I mean, everything's fitting great. The stone's sitting flush down on the brackets, helping hold down the brackets. Got nice space here. Everything's lined up great. So now we're ready for the wood top.
So I'll bring this back in for you guys. I remember when you made it, you actually gave a little bit of extra play with all of those, there you go guys, with all those spaces for the brackets.
Now you see the wood top sitting very nicely down on the brackets here. You can see the rabbet that we cut in the shop is covering over the stone very nicely, and that'll prevent there from being a crumb catcher or a requirement for a butt joint.
Gotcha.
All right, let's get the big top in here. And you remember we were in the shop that this is going to be a 3-piece countertop for the seating area.
The short runs and then this long run coming in here.
Exactly, and this is a very common desired application for a wood countertop because a lot of people don't want to sit on stone because it's cold.
Right. Well, and the other thing you told us is that no one wants to see the support brackets, the corbels anymore. So you've got some dominoes and basically some mechanical dominoes, right? So if need be, this could come apart?
Right, you could pull it back apart, but once we screw it down, it's not going to come back apart.
That is a nice tight joint, wow. Okay.
All right, and here comes that third piece.
Pretty much staying up by itself.
Yeah, he's just letting him get started.
Another nice tight fit, look at that. So the finish that you gave us, Paul, is what?
This is a bleached white oak with a cherused white glaze, and then it has our Dorada overcoat, which is our completely waterproof overcoat finish.
Perfect for a kitchen island. We've got a sink here in the island, and of course we're going to have dinner, drinks, and all that going on right here.
Yeah, there's no worries, no coasters required.
So ready to fasten?
Yep.
Wow, look at that, Paul. That is terrific. Between the stone and the wood, I mean, this is going to be the centerpiece for the two big rooms right here. Terrific.
Yeah, it's a beautiful melding of two natural materials.
All right, well, thanks to you, Randy and Adam. And I also know we have to thank you for the shiplap and the floating shelves that are going up eventually on the other wall over here.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful kitchen.
Terrific. Appreciate it very
Good to
much.
see you again.
All right, well, there is still a ton to do, but believe it or not, next time, all of this is going to be complete, and we will be ready for a wrap. So until then, I'm Kevin O'Connor for This Old House here in Concord, Massachusetts. You nailed it, guys. This thing is gorgeous. Next time on This Old House, our project is awash in craftspeople as finishing touches are checked off the list.